Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin on the daily chart, that's where we want to start. You can see that the market reacted to our micro support zone here on the daily chart as defined between 51,940 and 55,640 USD. Those were the relevant support levels. In particular, or to be very specific, the price actually reacted, you can see it here on the daily, to the golden ratio level, the 61.8 retracement at 54,080. We often see reactions to these support levels, even if they break eventually. There are often reactions, and even if, for example, the short-term bearish count in yellow plays out, which it absolutely still can do, then you can often see and expect a bounce at these levels. So at the moment, the upside momentum is not entirely convincing yet to justify making the white count preferred scenario. Let me take you through the two scenarios, bullish and bearish. Both are part still of an overall bullish scenario of an unfolding wave 4. The white count allows for the interpretation that wave 4 bottomed on the 5th of August. The yellow count allows for the interpretation that we still are in this fourth wave. And the yellow count was clearly leading into the weekend. The bounce definitely makes me watch more for the white count. However, I'm not going to make the white count preferred scenario until we get a little bit more evidence. I'll explain to you that a break above 57k would be a first signal that the bulls are taking the control. Are taking control and you know, the bears are losing downside momentum. But it requires a 5-wave move to the upside initially, okay, for clear evidence. And we, at the moment, only have 3 waves to the upside. Therefore, I cannot be clearly bullish. However, as long as the short-term trend is up, it also doesn't make sense to be clearly bearish, okay, as I was last week into the low. So now it's, you know, of course you could trade a short, but the momentum is still up in my opinion. But we take a look at that on the smaller time frame. So at the moment, I just want to make sure here that it's clear the situation on the daily chart hasn't changed at all in many weeks, actually months. Still both scenarios possible, white and yellow, and we've seen a reaction to support which keeps the white scenario alive. And for the yellow count, we would need to see a break below the Friday low, which formed here at around $52,800. So that would be the next indication, clear indication on the daily chart that yellow wave 3 to the downside, carries on, goes down lower, possibly towards 49-50k, before we then should see another wave 4 in yellow and a wave 5 down towards around about 45.5k. Now this scenario is still highly likely. What ideally shouldn't have happened is such a strong bounce, but it's not, you know, it doesn't invalidate the yellow scenario. It just means that the bears don't have the downside momentum they had last week, because the move to the downside that started here on the 25th of August high, this started as an impulse, but it now morphed into a diagonal pattern. And in a diagonal to trade, it is more difficult. Yeah, because you get a lot of, the market is throwing a lot of curveballs, okay? And there's a lot of up and down, and the situation is just not as clear as it would be in an impulse. Because in a diagonal, we don't have 5 waves. We are only dealing with 3-wave structures. We can have 5, then it's clearer. But at the moment, we're only dealing with 3 waves, and we can take a look at that on the smaller time frame in a minute. But overall, yeah, I'm still tracking the scenarios for one more high in this bull market. It is impossible at this stage to confirm a bear market, as many have done already last week. Now they're all bullish again on Twitter. I've just, you know, when you go to Twitter and you scroll through it, I sometimes do that, you immediately know what the price is doing, because sentiment shifts so quickly. But I just want to, you know, of course, the risk for a bear market has increased with the break, with the correction, the mini crash on the 5th of August, but the overall support levels are still holding. So the risk has increased, I can say that, and below 43k, the support level for a wave 4 is breaking. And really only then the market gives us confirmation that we are in a much more bearish scenario. Okay, at the moment we're still holding in this larger, you could say, channel. We're still holding above support on the daily, but at the same time, I have no evidence that this correction is complete. I would need a 5-wave move for that. Now let's go to the smaller time frame. Here, this is the, you see the move from this is the 1 hour, no, 15-minute chart. Yes, we can stay on here, it doesn't matter. What we see here is this B wave top I mentioned on the 25th of August. We have a wave 1 to the downside, a wave 2 to the upside in the yellow count. And here you can see it's an A, B, and then the C wave down would follow. To confirm the C wave down, I would need to see a break below 55,330. That would be an indication that we're heading down to 49K. Because this is support at the moment on the shorter time frame for one more high. Okay, so if we zoom in a little bit, so the yellow pathway, as you can see, is still very likely. We have 3 waves down, 3 waves up, so there is no trend change as such. So we don't have a clear confirmation of a trend change from a downtrend into an uptrend, but the bears are also not clearly in control at the moment because the momentum is up, right? So we have the shorter time frame trend is clearly up from the Friday low. So we need to wait for a break of that momentum, a break of that upside momentum, a clear indication that the next move down is starting, which we really only get if support breaks. So the move down overnight looks a little bit like a 5-wave move. That would suggest at least a C wave down in 4. This is what I would prefer. But if the market breaks above the resistance area I added between 57,288 and 57,775, it might go directly for one more high. If it goes for one more high, I would actually call that part of the move that started on the 8th of September. So I would not, so yesterday we said, look, for a first 5-wave move, I need to see a healthy wave 4, a dip in support, a test, and then one more high. But you can see, look at the proportions between wave 2 in white and wave 4. It basically would need another low for a clear wave 4, and then one more high would be ideal. It's essentially, I need a 5-wave move below support to confirm that we have topped in yellow wave B. And until I see that, we could get another high, and just the size of the pullback will determine if I call it already the wave 4 in white, okay, or if we are still in the 3rd wave or the C wave higher. Okay, so to make it, I try to explain it as simple as possible. What we need to see for a trend change to the upside is a 5-wave move. And if we go up directly from here, I would not call the overnight low the 4th wave, okay? And I would not call the next move up the 5th wave. It would be an internal 4 and 5, but within a still unfolding C or 3, which have topped yesterday. So ideally, to confirm a bullish count, I would like to see another lower low, but while holding 55K or 55,330, and then one more high. This is what I'm watching for today. As I said, the overnight dip looked a little bit like a 5-wave move down, so it could indicate it's going for that C wave down, or maybe even something more bearish, but we will only know when we see a break below 55,330. So I think it's waiting for either a break of support or one more high after a more healthy dip into support, or a more healthy 4th wave, to get clarity. Because at the moment we're just dealing with 3 waves moves up, 3 wave movements to the downside overall. This micro 5-wave move here is too small to be, reliable. I just give you my current idea of the structure, but this is not predictive at all on this time frame. But the parameters are clear that you can watch, and should we get a 5-wave move up in either direction, situation will be clear. That's the update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.